What's going on, guys? My name is Tim and welcome to my channel. This is sort of an introductory video for a travel series that I'm doing. So over the next 2 or 3 months, I will be embarking on a cross-country journey just alone in my car. I'll be traveling from coast to coast in Canada, all over the US. I'll be dipping into Mexico, eventually making my way back home to Eastern Canada. Now, originally I was just going to do this series for myself, for my friends and family to see, but I figured might as well just record everything I can and upload it to YouTube to share it with the world. So I'm beginning my trip today, and I thought it would be most fitting to start my trip right here at Peggys Cove. So let me just show you around here. This is the Atlantic Ocean right over there. And the Peggys Cove lighthouse is just right in the middle of your screen here. It's kind of hard to see because it's super foggy. All right, so this is the proposed route for my trip. It's going to be over roughly 2.5 to 3 months. I'm giving myself 3 months, but it may not necessarily take that long. It's going to be nearly 20,000 kilometers over 36 provinces and states. So as you can see here, I'm starting off my trip on the eastern shores of Nova Scotia. I'm going to be driving all the way west and terminating my Canadian portion of the trip on Vancouver Island. I'll then be going down south to the Mexican border in San Diego, following the Pacific Coast Highway. From there, I'll be zigzagging a little bit through the western states, going through Nevada and Utah and parts of Arizona, exploring a bucket list of national parks, points of interest, different cities, just whatever I feel like doing at that point in time, I suppose. And this map is going to be very fluid. I'm going to deviate from this route a lot. This is kind of an old map. Like, I'm probably going to head down to Austin and maybe Houston as well. Not really sure yet, but a lot of people have given me recommendations after creating this map of places to stop, so I'm sure I'm going to deviate quite a bit from this route. Anyways, I'm eventually going to make my way across the southern part of the US all the way down to Florida. I have a lot of family in Florida, so I'm going to be spending time with them, and finally making my way back up north to New Brunswick. So the wind here at Peggys Cove is always super insane, and today was no exception. So anything I was saying to the camera, you wouldn't have been able to hear anyway, so I'm just going to dub over the video. So yeah, Peggys Cove is just like a super popular tourist attraction, not too far from Halifax, which makes it super accessible. If ever you're in the region, it's a must-do. And around the lighthouse is like, it's all like these giant rock formations. Like, the landscape is super unique. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the region. So it's fun to just walk around and explore and, you know, just make your way out to the tip of the little peninsula that it's on. But yeah, I mean, the terrain is quite manageable. It's a little treacherous here and there, but nothing too bad. After I finished exploring Peggys Cove for a little while, I made my way a few kilometers up the road to one of my favorite spots, and this is the Swissair Flight 111 Memorial. So anyway, I'll let you read the memorial when it pops up here. But basically, in 1998, there was a plane crash just off the shores of this region, and there was a memorial that was erected for it. So I just like to stop here. It's nice and peaceful. And as an aviation enthusiast, you know, it's just, I feel like I have to stop here every time I'm nearby. And on a nice sunny day, you can normally see the lighthouse from this location, but it was super foggy today, so I didn't get the chance to see it. So I've driven a couple of kilometers up the road from Peggys Cove, and I'm camping in this little spot here. It's called King Neptune Camping. Just a tiny little camping spot. There's probably like, I don't know, a dozen sites. But it is really beautiful. It's right by the water, super calm, quiet. So I'm going to be showing you guys my setup here real quick. Alright, so here's the setup. This is going to be my house for the next 2.5, 3 months. So this is a Thule rooftop tent. It's a 2-person tent, and there's actually quite a bit of room in here. Well, hang on, if I can get this open. So the tent comes with a 1-inch foam mattress. It's fine for like a weekend getaway, but for 3 months my back is just gonna die. So I bought like this little extra 1-inch self-inflatable mattress, and I'm just gonna inflate it every day, deflate it every night, or like, yeah, just set it up every day and sleep on that just for the extra padding. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty roomy tent. I have enough room for all my stuff. I got some blankets right here, so yeah, it should be pretty comfortable over the next few months. But there she is. That's the setup. And where I'm camping tonight is really cool. The water is like literally right down there. I'm gonna take a walk over there to show you guys, but I'm kind of glad that they put me up in this corner, because I at least have some trees that kind of muffle the wind a little bit, because the wind is absolutely insane today. The fog never really let up all day, but it's fine. It's not very cold, and the wind is pretty calm over here in this corner, so I think I'll be fine.
The next morning, immediately after waking up, I made my way back to Peggys Cove to have breakfast at a restaurant called the Sue Wester. I had some eggs and some toast. It was really good. I then started to make my way back to Halifax. It's about a 30-minute drive from Peggys Cove to Halifax, so not very far. And it's honestly one of the funnest drives in the region. You're just driving by the coast the whole time, going through a plethora of little fishing towns. The road is super windy and fun to drive. Today was super foggy though, the visibility wasn't that great, but I managed to capture some decent footage of the drive anyways.
So I wasn't really planning on exploring Halifax at all. Alright, so this is what's happening is I wanted to start my trip off at the Atlantic Ocean in Canada and then end it at the Pacific Ocean in BC, right? I'm not going to end the trip, but that's where like the Canadian portion of my trip's going to end. So I thought it would be fitting if I made the 2-hour trip, 3-hour trip, Peggys Cove, because I live inland, right? Well, I live by the water, but I live not on the Atlantic Ocean. So I figured it would be more fitting if I did like an actual coast-to-coast trip in Canada. And so that's why I was going to make the trip to Halifax anyway to do that. But it just so happened the time that I was going to go to Halifax anyway coincided with when my uncle from Florida was coming up and needed to be picked up from the airport. So I volunteered to go pick him up, and I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna go to Halifax, camp there for a night, you know, because it's still like a 3-hour drive. I didn't want to do everything in a day. So I would camp the night, wake up the next morning, you know, go explore Halifax and, you know, just wander around a little bit, start off at Peggys Cove, and then go pick him up at the airport later tonight. I think he arrives at like 9:30 p.m. and it's like a 2.5-hour drive back home, which it's not ideal, driving at night and all that, but it's all right. I've done worse. But yeah, I mean, this is actually incredible. Like 10 minutes ago, I was on my way back from Peggys Cove. It was cold and rainy and foggy, and then boom, I'm in Halifax now. It's literally up like 15 degrees from what it was at Peggys Cove, and there's not a cloud in the sky. Like, this is crazy. So for now, I'm just gonna be wandering around Halifax. I'm gonna go to a couple places I've never been since I'm here, because I don't come to Halifax very often. I've been here like a dozen times. But right now I'm heading over to Point Pleasant, which is like the southernmost tip of the city. There's like a bunch of walking trails, and there's like a couple of monuments and stuff that you could check out. Can I turn right here? I absolutely can. But yeah, I'm gonna go check that out and see what's up. And then after that, I think I'm just gonna go walk the Halifax boardwalk. It's like the thing to do when you're in town, among a million other things that there is to do. One of my favorite things in Halifax is the Citadel as well. It's like an old military fort that was used in, like, you know, the 1800s, 1700s probably. But I'm not going to do that this time. So we're heading to Point Pleasant. Oh geez, I think I have to turn left here. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn left. Nice morning for a walk. I got like 8 hours to kill, so I'm in no rush. I thought he was going to climb up my leg. Oh my god. Just ahead here we have the Port of Halifax. All like the shipping boats come in. This is such a nice park. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a lighthouse way over there on the horizon. Man, that's so cool. That's the fog out in the distance. But over here, nice and sunny. War Memorial.
After spending a little bit of time at the park, I decided to make my way downtown and walk along the waterfront. I hadn't been here in like 3 or 4 years, and a ton has changed. There's like these whole brand new sections that were never there before. You can really walk the entire waterfront now. It's really great. There's all like this new beer garden section where you can just sit down and have a beer. I did exactly that. I sat down, I enjoyed a nice beer in the sun. It was really great. There's also all these little vendors everywhere, these little shops, people selling, you know, souvenirs and goodies and local t-shirts, local art and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun. And actually, while I was there was the beginning of the Busker Festival. I kind of missed it, but it was starting to ramp up for the festival. It's this big festival that happens every year in Halifax where there's like all these street performers that come down and show off their skills and all that. I then walked like 3 kilometers inland over to Tony's famous Donairs, and I bought myself a good old Halifax Donair. If you don't know what a Donair is, it's this. It's kind of like a kebab, but better. That's the best way I can explain it.
I then made my way back home from Halifax. It's not a very long drive, it's like 2.5 hours. Alright guys, well I'm back home now. It's been about a week. I had some car troubles to mend and I finally got that done. So let me just take a minute to talk about my car, what I will be living out of for the next few months. So this is my 2017 Volkswagen GTI. I bought it brand new like 5.5 years ago. And like when I was starting this trip, I wasn't sure, like, was I gonna buy a van? Was I gonna just like buy another vehicle to do the trip? And then I began to think to myself, why would I do that? Like, the used car market right now is absolutely insane. Like, buying a new vehicle is just not an option right now. And I figured, like, you know, the GTI, it's in the name. It's a GT car, Grand Touring. It's literally built to drive across the country and do these kind of trips. So I mean, it's a ton of fun to drive. You know, what better car to be ripping up the hills in California than a GTI? So let me take a minute and just go over my build, I guess. When I was in Nova Scotia, I didn't pack everything because I was only there for like a few days before coming back. So on this side here, I guess this is sort of like the kitchen area. I have all like my utensils and stuff, and these drawers, cutting boards and all that. So this is like the kitchen, and then this is sort of like, I don't know, just random stuff. Like half of these drawers are empty anyway. Then I have my pots and pans, as well as a cleaning bucket. And then this box right here, this is kind of like my random assortment drawer. There's just a bunch of random stuff in there. And in the back, here's where things get a little interesting. So I guess this is sort of like the kitchen 2.0, because this is my fridge. It's currently empty. I gotta go do a little grocery. But this is a Dometic CX35. It's a 35-liter powered cooler, basically. So it's not like a conventional cooler. You don't put ice in this. It's a fridge. Actually, here, let me show you real quick. You can actually see there's a little screen here where you can set the temperature. I could even set this to be a freezer if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be my fridge. And how is this being powered, you're asking? Well, let me show you real quick. It's kind of a mess in here. But it's being powered by this. This is a 1,000 watt Jackery power generator. It's kind of crammed in there. I'll be able to show you guys better at some point in this vlog, but that is what is powering that fridge. And the Jackery power bank is plugged in to this 12-volt outlet right here. So as I'm driving, it's charging my battery and powering the fridge. So it's perfect. And then over here I just have a random assortment of everything. This is my mattress that I was talking about. This is a 10-liter water jug, and then I have a socket set, as well as my propane stove, and I have a car kit here. I have like so much car stuff. I guess like car repair stuff. Oh yeah, and I also have a solar panel that comes with the Jackery power bank as well. And then here's sort of like my closet, my clothes and stuff. I'm gonna buy like another bin or something to put this in, because it's just kind of like thrown all over the place, but I'll figure it out as I go. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm just packing up some last minute things here, guys, and then I'm ready to hit the road, and I will be heading directly to Quebec City today. I was going to do the Acadian Peninsula and then the Gaspé Peninsula over like 2 or 3 days, but I just I had a bunch of delays with my car repairs. I'm leaving a little bit later than I would have liked to, and then I figured, you know, all of those local places I can just take a weekend and do anytime. So I'd rather sacrifice a few days at the start of the trip, and then, you know, so then I can better enjoy the rest of, you know, all the faraway places that I'm gonna go see. So anyways, guys, let's hit the road. I then made the 8-hour trek through New Brunswick to Quebec City, but not before stopping at a famous landmark in Heartland, New Brunswick, the world's longest covered bridge.
Well, that was pretty neat.
Anyways, that'll be it for this video. Stay tuned, as next video I'll bring you through the heart of historic Quebec City. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.